Of all the changes that Bethesda made to the Fallout universe, my absolute favorite is the way they reinvented power armor. It feels like you're hopping into a machine. It feels like you've got your own personal tank. I love the fusion cores. I love the power armor frame. I love the paint jobs. I love everything about it. But I won't say that its execution was absolutely perfect. There are a few things that bother me even to this day. Thankfully, there is a world of wonderful modders out there who have taken it upon themselves to improve power armor even more. In this video, we will talk about the 12 best quality of life power armor mods in the universe. Now, I am a PC gamer. I don't own an Xbox or a PlayStation 4, so all of the mods that I will be reviewing today are available on the PC. Now, some of them may be available on consoles, so for console players who are interested, I'm sure it'll just take a little bit of sleuthing. My goal with this list is to include mods that make you enjoy living in power armor better. We're gonna cover animation fixes, mesh fixes, sound effect fixes, texture improvements, user interface improvements, and much more. I include a complete list of all of the mods in this video in the description below, and I've also included hot links to all of the mods in the video so you can skip around if you want. Those also are in the description. And so without further ado, here are the 12 best quality of life power armor mods. First up is X01 Invisible Flashlight Remove by Castell. The default shape of the flashlight that comes with your power armor is a circle. This is fine for all of the suits of power armor which have circular torches, except the X01 suit. The X01 suit emits light through its eyes, so naturally you would expect the shape of the light to be in the shape of eyes. But no, even in the X01 suit, the shape of the light is circular, as if there was somehow an invisible torch on the X01 suit. This mod simply changes the shape of the light to look like it's coming out of eyes. It still illuminates dark spaces just fine, but it just makes things look a little bit more realistic. Thank you, Castell. Next up is X01 Power Armor Helmet Smoothed Eyes by Driogan. This mod author felt that the light emitting from the X01 suit eyes looked a little faceted. It was kind of hazy around the edges of the eye. The light felt fuzzy. It just wasn't a convincing light effect that came from the eyes. His mod removes the fuzziness around the outline of the eyes, making it clear and distinct. It no longer looks like hard edges from the suit of power armor are somehow bleeding into the eye socket, causing a crystallized effect. Now it just looks like it sheds light. A nice little touch. Thanks, Driogan. Next up is Power Armor HUD No Transparency by Hellstorm 102. The default look of your heads-up display when in power armor is a little confusing, at least it was for me the first time I entered a suit. You see this metallic dashboard at the bottom with a whole bunch of dials, but the dashboard itself is transparent. What are we supposed to think here? Are the images projected on our helmet screen? Does the metal somehow become transparent when we get in the suit? Is it like one-way glass? This evidently bothered Hellstorm because he came out with a mod that makes the chassis of the power armor HUD solid. With the mod installed, you no longer see right through it. The mod comes with a number of options, including a weathered look, which you see here, or a solid steel clean look. You can have a transparent background for the condition indicator like you see here, or a solid black one. There are a bunch of different options that you can download. But for those of you who are bothered by the way the dials look in power armor and would prefer a much more solid option, this mod is for you. Thanks, Hellstorm. Next up is Transparent Power Armor HUD by 3Agent999. This is the exact opposite of the last one. Let's say that you don't like the heads-up display that you find in the game, but you also don't want one that's rock solid. You'd prefer something that was a little bit more minimalist, where you could enjoy more of the scenery. This mod makes the HUD even more transparent. It also makes some of the dials a little bit more transparent, which may make it harder to read, but it's a small price to pay to enjoy the sights just that much more. You can always get around it by installing a dials mod on top of this one so that you can have the best of both worlds. A wonderful little touch by 3Agent999. Speaking of dials, next up is Better Dials for Power Armor by Sanhedrin. The default dials for power armor are a soft amber, and you can't change the color in the user interface. This mod gives you a variety of new color options for the dials in your power armor. It also changes the power armor condition lamp to have a color indicator that tells you the status of your power armor based on color. Solid green if your power armor is healthy, red if a piece is about to break, and white if the piece is broken or missing. You can choose from a variety of colors: green, blue, white, amber, and they should be compatible with most mods that change the heads-up display as long as you install it last. Thanks for the nice touch, Sanhedrin. Next up is Power Armor HUD by Gopher. This mod brings minimalism to the furthest degree by removing the chassis HUD and many of the other power armor dials and indicators. Instead, it replaces it with the typical character HP and AP, really leaving only the compass, the fusion core counter. A great mod for any of you who like clear skies. Thanks, Gopher. Next up is Power Armor Map Fix by Spanian77. The way that Fallout 4 deals with the Power Armor map is weird. It's almost as if they're projecting an image onto the screen of the Power Armor, and a lot of light passes through all of the icons. This leads to a map that looks blown out. It's hard to see any detail. Now, in a previous video, I went through my Pip-Boy settings in Fallout 4, some of the hidden settings that they don't show you, to change the way my Pip-Boy worked, which also translated to my power armor. So in this video, the map looks better. But Spanian's mod makes the map a little darker, allowing less light to pass through it, which makes the icons much more legible. You're going to see this better if you have a color map, but for those of us who do not use color maps, it's still noticeable. Here's a still of my map before the mod was installed. Notice how the background is slightly lighter, and here's a still with the mod installed. Notice how the background is fairly dark, and the icons are a little bit more legible. Before, after, before, after. A subtle change, but a welcome one. Thank you, Spanian. Next up is X01 Armor Reposition Fix by DRZ556. Frustratingly, the X01 suit of power armor doesn't correctly line up with the underlying power armor frame. These are very minor, most people haven't noticed them, but DRZ556 sure did, and so he released a mod that fixes it. He aligned the hoses on the back that reach to the fusion cores, the crotch plate, and he fixed the floating bolt on the right pauldron issue. You only see the floating bolt issue when running or doing some other activity. I always saw it when I was in dialogue, and it was really annoying. But as you can see, all of the bolts are exactly where they are supposed to be. And the crotch plate is magnificent. Thank you, DRZ556. Next up is Power Armor Animation Changes by Somber X. Exiting and entering power armor takes a long time. That was agony. This mod simply speeds up the amount of time it takes to get in and out of power armor to match the same speed that it takes when you enter and exit when in combat. Much better. Thanks, Somber X. This next one is one of those things that you never notice until someone points it out. This one is Resynched Power Armor Enter and Exit Sounds by LulzMan1325. The sound effect when you get in and out of power armor does not match the animation. When a hatch opens up, you don't hear the hatch open up. When metal slams against metal, you don't hear metal slamming against metal. This mod syncs up all of the sound effects to each moment of the animation. Here's exiting before. And here is exiting with the fix. Here's entering before. And here's entering with the fix. Yeah, I know you're telling me, what is this, Oxhorn? Nothing changed. It's a slight change. I'm going to overlay these on top of each other so that you can hear the difference between the two. There, as you can see, one happened a lot later than the other. This probably never annoyed you, but now that you see it, it's gonna drive you crazy until you install the mod. So you're welcome. Thank you very much, LolZman1325. Next is Jetbackpacks by Anataron. You wander the wasteland and loot absolutely everything. For some reason in power armor you can carry more, but your power armor doesn't have any pockets. Where do you keep all of this loot? Anataron has solved this conundrum by placing backpacks on the back of your power armor jetpack. To get the backpacks, go to any power armor crafting station, and you can find the new backpack jetpack in the same mod list as the jetpack. It requires the same perks to build. When done, you can wander around the Pridwin or the Wasteland or the Institute with a proud backpack on your jetpack, telling the whole world that yes, this may be a fantasy post-apocalyptic game, but you believe in immersion. And what's more immersive than a jetpack backpack? Reminds me of that song. Do you remember that? Any kids from the 90s here? There's got to be some good reason for the little black backpack. Up, smack, turn around, it's on your back end. Don't want to tango with you. I'd rather tango with him. No? Just me? I actually really like it. So thank you so very much, Anataron. And last on the list today is Fallout Texture Overhaul Power Armor's UHUD 4K by Gorgula. There are a lot of power armor texture overhauls out there, and many of them are extremely talented. I prefer texture mods that are lore-friendly and maintain a sort of blasted-out, rusted wasteland feel. That's why, in my opinion, Gorgula's mod is one of the best power armor retexture mods out there. Sadly, Gorgula didn't finish it, and it looks like he has abandoned it. He only completed his texture overhaul for the T45 and the T60 sets of power armor, leaving the T51 and the X01 behind. That said, what he has done is amazing. He did a new texture for every vanilla paint job in the game for the T45 and the T60, including all of the Hot Rod magazines, Vault-Tec, military, and all of the other paint schemes, and the default rusted out or weather exposed textures that you find power armor in when you find it across the world. His mod includes beautiful normal maps, ensuring that the rust and the paint flecks have the illusion of depth that they really need. His mod makes me enjoy my power armor museum so much more. If you missed my power armor museum, you can watch a video of it here. Wonderful work, Gorgula. Thank you so much. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are the 12 best quality of life power armor mods that I have been able to find. But I'm sure I haven't covered all of them. Which are your favorite power armor mods? Feel free to tell me and link to them in the description below. I would love your input. I read all of your comments, and I use your comments as inspiration for my future videos. I publish a new video like this every single day of the week, so if you want to be notified the next time I publish a video, be sure to subscribe. If you'd like to chat about power armor or power armor mods on the Oxhorn Community Discord server, twirl down that description where you will find an invitation link below. And if you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Patreon subscribers get access to a private channel on my Discord server, as well as a bunch of other cool Oxhorn perks. But more than anything, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just so glad that you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, with a brand new video.